Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxley, the technical trader at TheTechTrader.ccm. It's Thursday night, the 17th of November, and these are the charts of the day. Just a little heads up, tomorrow morning I'll be flying to Las Vegas for the Traders Expo. I will not be on the site at all tomorrow, unfortunately. And so you'll have to fend for yourself. It's going to be an interesting day. Today was an interesting day. The markets did very well and continued to push ahead, albeit not be a very strong day. It was strong enough to push a lot of stocks that we follow. And let's take a look at some of them. Airgain, recent IPO, which exploded from the 7-8 range all the way up to 16 and then had a three-wave corrective. It has exploded again. From a 1135 low on November the 3rd, it exploded to 2850 by the 15th in 2 weeks. So more than 100%, and then the pullback. The pullback got to this little gap here, held it, had an inside day, and today it popped for 14 or 18.5% on 400,000. Now it's not that heavily traded a stock, but if it holds that area, maybe it backs and fills for a bit. I think the stock is looking for high 30s. Keep an eye on it. AMAT, after they closed today, the company came out with earnings. The stock popped, pulled back, and then leveled out at about the 30-10 range, just a little bit below where it closed, but the gut feeling is here that the stock is headed higher. Also, when you look at where the stock is today, it was right near where the resistance was at 31, today's high being 30.85, so that was resistance anyway. The pullback might have been just what the stock needed to set itself up for a bigger move to the upside. The support was about 28.10, and the after hours low, I believe, was right near there. Right, 28.35. So I think we had the test that we're looking for, and now we're going to look for a follow through and see if we can take out the 31-31.10 zone. If we do, 34 is my next target. Maybe about 33.5, mid-channel. And then I'm looking for 37.8. AMD, another semiconductor stock doing fabulous. As you know, we've had swings on this a couple times. Currently one in place. Yesterday broke out. Today it followed through with a massive volume. It traded 124 million shares today. Did very well considering the run-up, the sharp run-up. It's been up for 5 days in a row. It did pull back, but there's some strong support in the 8-10 range now. And I suspect we're going to see $10 short term. That's my target. Beyond that, on an intermediate basis, we could see as high as closer to 14 perhaps. We'll have to just see if we get it follow through. Another junior semiconductor I follow very closely and put a swing on is Amkor. Gave you a swing when it popped out here. It ran up, pulled back, consolidated, ran up again and popped out. The stock's been mojoing right up to my target, reaching as high as 11.88. I think my next target is around 12, so we're right there. Intermediate wise, I can see the stock making a longer term move towards 16. 4 days to cover in that one. AMW, well, exploded along with some of the other shippers, but this one held on because of quality earnings, and this is not a shipping stock per se. They supply oil and gas and refuel the shipping fleets, and you can see how this broke through with a key breakout today, up through the 50, through a lot of resistance, and took out a couple layers of additional overhead resistance and closed above that. When I see that kind of action technically, I'm looking for a much bigger move. Today's volume of 1.3 million was a very big volume for that stock. The biggest volume, or either the biggest or second biggest volume since June. Now, there is resistance up here in this zone, right about that level at the spike from August, and that reached 1141. Again, any kind of follow through on that, I'm looking for 13.5, and then as high as 15. Those are my swing trade targets. Now, because of the spike up, we may get a pullback consolidation, but I think the setup is there for higher levels. And there's 12.6 days to cover. Biotech ARIA just exploded off the pullback lows. Wanted you to see this. Getting all the way down on the spike low to 863 and then retesting it a couple days later. And then had the breakaway gap a week ago and has been up pretty strongly since then with a couple days of consolidation near resistance. The stock then resumed its advanced trade, looks like. Now there is a little double top up here, resistance at around 1434. Today's high was 1414. There's a long move up here, a real strong move, but it may be in need of a consolidation or even pullback retest. So watch this one carefully. If it does get the mojo, it may be $16 before you know it. There's 4.3 days to cover. It's got a very strong rising pattern, but I think the best setup would be some kind of consolidation in that zone and then head up towards the high teens. Biotech ARRY, one of our swing trades, which dipped and then held support, has exploded very nicely as well. This one's up for 9 days in a row. Or is it 10 now? Looks like 10 days in a row. And today actually popped and closed over this spike high, which tells me there's more to go. And I'm looking for a run towards 8.5 up in that level there before we see much further beyond that. Big pop on Best Buy today, a strong earnings report. It exploded literally almost 14% and closing near the upper end of the range, but at the top of the channel. Now looking at a more intermediate to longer term chart, you'll see going way back, this is the weekly, this is the highest level on Best Buy since back in 2010. At that point it reached 48.83, and that would be my near-term target. Beyond that, I'm looking in the mid-50s. There's 8.5 days to cover. I don't think the shorts have even begun to cover this one. Today was a good day for it though. You can see the spike up. And because of that, it very well might need to give you a consolidation for a week or two. So stay tuned and keep an eye on this one. Follow through could get you a couple, 3 more points, but this is in dire needs of some kind of consolidation. Even if it's a rising consolidation, as long as it gets one. Carbonite, CARB, popped 70 cents or almost 4%. Volume picked up. OBV is looking strong. It's nearing the top of the channel. Notice the 2 inside days in today's follow through. Now this is your rising channel hang on. It's a very steep one. I'm not sure the stock is going to get much steeper. On a long-term basis, the highest level ever reached was right after the IPO in 2011 when it spiked up to 21. So we're almost there. That would be a potential target up in that 21 zone short term. But careful here because it was literally a week and a half ago trading at 15.5, and here it is more than 19. Biotech Clovis is looking interesting. Coming sharply off its pullback low and a double bottom near support in the trend line, it has run up very nicely. Now yesterday was an inside day, today was an engulfing day, and that's a bullish action. Expect to see a test of 38.5 and maybe a test of the spike high at 40. Those are my 2 short-term targets. My intermediate target will be a run up into the mid-60s. Keep an eye on this one. Copen. Well, as you know, Cabby brought our attention to this. I've been following it for a while now. I know the company very well. It is a good company. But it's very cheap, and I don't often highlight these cheap ones, but in this case, major declining tops line was taken out. Volumes picked up. There's 17 days to cover. The stock may very well see a little bit of a run towards the 280.85 range short term, maybe tomorrow. But the real target I have on this on a short term basis is 3.25. Now beyond that, if we get any kind of run up, pullback consolidation and set up for another leg, ultimately I'm looking for at least 4.25, and possibly down the road even more than that. But you can see that the setup is there for additional upside now that it's broken out today. LMAT, another pop to more highs, almost 25 today. Long-term chart is impeccable. My target remains the same, about 27.5, followed by a longer-term target at about 30.31. MB, recent addition to our swing trade list, very strong chart, real good technicals recently, particularly in the last 3 weeks. Stock popped out today, running $1.05 or almost 5% on 820,000. I would look for at least a quick move to near 24, eventually high 20s. 5.4 days to cover on that one. Well, Micron took a pop today after a couple months of consolidation. The semiconductor group is really smoking in here. And along with the biotech group, one of the reasons why I think the market has really turned it around here. Now, looking at the way this looks, obviously a zone of resistance comes in around the 2020 range, 2021 range. Would be initial target, secondary target about 23.5 near the top of the channel. OCUL. Now, the long-term declining channel has been broken. The double top's been broken. The stock has surged recently and dramatically. Let me eliminate some of the noise in here so you can see the actual green bars. 8 days in a row. Now today was kind of an inside day, but a positive one. Watch. If it does take out, and watch this level tomorrow, 990, I may very well see 12. That's my short-term trend. However, long in the tooth, short-term, I would love to see this back and fill and consolidate for a week or two and set up a flag here for a move up towards 13, 14. 4 days to cover on that one. Progenics is another example of a biotech stock similar to ARIA and several others that we watched that have had a phenomenal rebound. This one going from about 480 to 8. And up in a resistance zone and not far from the top of the channel. So again, in this case, I think the biotechs will do the rest for a bit. And I'd like to see some sort of flag consolidation, maybe in that zone, and set up a move that eventually gets you to 9, 11, and much more than that. 7.35 days to cover on that one. Superstar Biotech Seattle Genetics this year has gone from the mid-20s to the mid-70s, tripling. First in a beautiful rising channel, and then an accelerated move, followed by a reversal day with no downside follow-through, right back up to the highs. Short term, I'm looking for 85. Longer term, this cock could be 100, but right now with 14 days to cover, I think the shorts are trapped. Semiconductor Tower Semi, excuse me. Beautiful base breakout. Nice consolidation zone, held the moving averages, exploded through it with a breakaway gap 2 days ago. Yesterday was a nice inside day. Today it followed through to the resistance zone, the highs from a year and a half ago. We get through this level, could be clear sailing. That's why I put it out. Oh, that's why I wanted to put it out, but I didn't. This is a really interesting pattern that I like a lot, and the OBV and the money stream balance of power look pretty good. UIS, swing trade is working. When it broke out of this pattern, we gave you a swing on it. Actually, I think I gave it to you there. It pulled back for a few days and consolidated, holding the moving averages, and then boom. Today, another 75 cents or almost 6%. Resistance from the October high of a year ago comes in around just under 15. I suspect we may get to that rather quickly, but I'm very high on the overall structure. Long-term declining channel broken, rising bottoms, moving averages turned around. Crossover, pullback, consolidation, and move up. Now, it may be due in that zone for a pullback retest, but I think this is a stock on its way to higher levels. And eventually, I'll be looking for something in the low to mid-20s. 12.4 days to cover on that one. Well, Zeltique popped to new all-time highs today, and looks like it's mojoing. It has a 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth wave is underway, which could, if it takes it on this angle to the top of the channel, get you near 50. Keep an eye on this one with 15.5 days to cover. And lastly, ZYNE, our swing trade, which did very well from there to there, then rolled over, but held support. It's been moving right along with some of the other biotechs of late. This one going from about 1060 to today's high at 16. The next target is going to be up around 20 3/4, 21, if it gets through the near-term $18 resistance. With 4.4 days to cover, I'm optimistic we see higher levels. Folks, that's the rundown for some of the hot stocks at TheTechTrader.ccm. Good night, everybody.